Okay, here I am. I just signed up for Academy Pro. I'm so excited. Let's jump right into it. Wait, except my name's not Charlotte Amanda. Yeah, that's all right. We'll overlook that. Okay, so do I want to do a math diagnostic? Do I want to do an ELA diagnostic? Or, oh, wait, no data or information to look at. Well, I haven't started yet, so let's start. I'm going to jump right into my ELA diagnostic. Oh, hold on. I want to quick check rapid drills. So I can take questions by difficulty. I can take different types of questions on the reading and the revising editing sections. And I have no data again. Or I can even take it by passage type. Yeah, I've got all my edit revise passages, my poems, my narratives, science, social science, history, etc. Again, no data. So if I ever want to go back to the dashboard, I just click the logo on the upper left. That's kind of easy way to do it. And there I am. Let's do it. Let's take an ELA diagnostic. So give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Or you can plunge immediately into an official full ELA diagnostic. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So right there, ELA diagnostic exam and review. Let's click that one. Okay. And let's take that diagnostic. After you complete it, mark it complete. I don't have to be timed, blah, 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 so I can take it over a long period of time. And that also means I can check my answers as I go, right? Okay, good. Let's start. And it looks like I could read passages here in an HTML format. Okay, good to know. PDF. This is, I guess, the PDF question, so I can kind of read it here too, I think. 2 places to read it. And answers. Nope, we can't check the answers yet. That would be cheating. I have an answer sheet. I could print out my bubble-in answer sheet. All right. This is not time, but let's begin because I want to get this done. So exciting. Hello, crazy blue guy. Let's start. All right, question 1. The Colosseum in Rome, Italy, which is considered one of the new 7 wonders of the world, is the largest amphitheater ever built and could hold more than 50,000 spectators. Huh, that's almost as big as kind of Giant Stadium. Which edit should be made to correct this sentence? Delete the comma after Rome. So Rome, Italy. Whenever I say city and country, I use a comma. Think of it. New York, comma, NY, if you've ever written a letter. Okay, that comma needs to be there. It's not A. Insert a comma after Italy. No, why would I do that? Well, because which usually takes a comma before. The Colosseum, Rome, Italy, which is considered one of the 7 wonders of the world. Wait, yeah, I do need that comma after Italy, right before the which. Because here's the comma that ends what we call the parenthetical dependent clause, which can't stand by itself, and it is extra information. It's what we would call non-restrictive. It doesn't have to be there. I could pull it out of the sentence. The sentence would still make sense. The Colosseum in Rome, Italy, is the largest amphitheater ever built. Yeah, that makes sense. This is just extra information. It's considered the 7 wonders of the world. That's my answer. That's going to be right. Let's just check C and D. Delete the comma after world. No. Why would I do that? That's the ending comma to my parenthetical, which comes from the which, my beginning relative pronoun, to world. So that has to be separated on commas, with commas on both sides in the middle of the sentence. So I don't want to do C. Insert a comma after built. Ever built end could hold more than... Okay, so those of you who learned a little bit about grammar know we can combine independent clauses with a comma and a fanboy. For, and, nor, but, or, yet. So the and is one of those coordinating conjunctions. But wait a second. Don't just start putting commas willy-nilly in front of every and or but you see. It only applies to independent clause combinations. So compound verbs, compound nouns, phrases, etc. No commas before your coordinating conjunction. There's no need for a comma before and here, because could hold more than 50,000 spectators is not a sentence that could stand by itself. It's not an independent clause. Therefore, I am not putting a comma before that and. So D is incorrect. We were right before. B is the right answer for number 1. Yay, we started. Let's keep going. Number 2. In September 2016, the National Museum of African American History and Culture opened as part of the Smithsonian Institution. The museum is already the Smithsonian's third most popular site. Okay, I think I spotted a mistake already. Which revision corrects the error in sentence structure in the paragraph? This is an independent clause. It could stand alone. I could put a period at the end of it. This is an independent clause. It stands alone. The museum is already the third most popular site. I could put a period after that. Therefore, I cannot just have a comma in between the two independent clauses. That's what we call a comma splice. It's a run-on sentence. It's grammatically incorrect. I need either a semicolon, I could put a period there to separate the sentences, or a comma with one of my coordinating conjunctions, i.e. my fanboys, for, in, nor, but, or, yet, so. So this is wrong. Basically, E is the one that's an error that needs to be corrected. Let's just check the others, make sure they're okay. Experts say that they expect the newest Smithsonian facility to welcome nearly 4 million visitors a year, period. The museum features, that's correct, those are two separate sentences with a period. The museum features more than 30,000 objects, comma, including Muhammad Ali's boxing gloves. Cool. We need that comma there, though. 30,000 objects, comma, including. This is a present participle, starting a present participle clause. We often see the commas before including. It's a typical participle clause we'll see, which is a type of dependent clause. It cannot stand by itself. This part is a dependent clause at the end of a sentence. So it is separated because it's not essential in this case. It's separated by a comma. Okay? How about the last one? A commemorative copy of the Emancipation Proclamation, comma, written in 1863 during the presidency of Abraham Lincoln, is also on display at the museum. That's kind of cool, too. That comma also has to be there before the written. What is written? Written is a past participle. So this is another participle clause of an irregular verb, to write. So written in 1863 during the presidency of Lincoln is on display. That's not a complete thought. I can't put a period at the end of that. So this is, again, a dependent clause after your independent clause. It's extra information. It's not essential, so I do need that comma. The only error here is E. That is the correct answer for number 2. Number 3, to promote their club, a bake sale will be sponsored by members of the debate team on Wednesday. Oh, these ones, they always sound really awkward. And sometimes you can't put your finger on it, which if you're in that situation, this is awkward, but I can't put my finger on it. I usually like to look for a misplaced modifier. And there is definitely a misplaced modifier. What's wrong here? To promote their club, a bake sale will sponsor. Wait, a bake sale? The bake sale is next to the promoting the club? How is a bake sale promoting the club? Remember, modifiers are words that have to generally be next to each other. The blue truck, blue modifies truck. They're next to each other. You don't put blue over on the other side of the sentence and talk about the blue salesman. That's not right, unless maybe he's choking on something. So to promote their club, a bake sale, I need to separate these. Who is promoting their club? Well, if I look at the sentence, it's the members of the debate team. So the members of the debate team should be next to promoting their club in the correct answer, okay? And it shouldn't have this to be with the by. That's a typical sort of passive structure, which accompanies misplaced modifiers in many cases. That's what often gives us the awkward feeling. So to promote their club on Wednesday, a bake sale will be, no, same problem with A. On Wednesday, to promote their club, a bake sale, no, the bake sale is still promoting the darn club. To promote their club, C, members of the debate team. Yes, the members of the debate team are the ones next to in the sentence and promoting their club. That's correct. That's a correctly placed modifier. To promote their club, members of the debate team will sponsor a bake sale on Wednesday. That's the answer. Members of the debate team on Wednesday, to promote their club, will sponsor a bake sale. So D is not passive like A and B in the original choice, but it's broken up with commas and chopped apart. It's just ugly. So that's not correct. C is the correct answer for 3. Number 4. How should the paragraph be revised? Well, let's take a look at the paragraph. It's a very broad question, if you notice that. It's not saying what's the mistake or here's the possible mistake. Just how should it be revised? Well, how? All right, well, let's jump in and see. 1. Devin spent several hours preparing for an upcoming audition for a play at the community theater. Okay, so that looks okay to me. Sentence 1, change spent to had spent. Devin had spent several hours, and insert a comma after play. For a play, comma, at the community theater. Okay, so a couple things here. Had spent is the past perfect tense. I don't think we need to say that here, right? It's a possibility, but no need for that change. The second part is clearly wrong. Insert a comma after play. Well, play, comma, at the community theater. So at the community theater is a prepositional dependent clause. We just saw in a couple other questions dependent clauses at the end of sentences separated by commas. Note prepositions are almost never separated by commas before the preposition. You don't usually see prepositions before, you don't usually see commas before prepositions. You know, I could say Usain Bolt won the race at the Modesta Relays in California on July 4th, etc., etc. In, on, at, all prepositions. None of those take commas before them. So same thing's going on here for a play at the community theater. I do not want to insert that comma. E is wrong, so that's not what I want to choose. Oh, and I chose it. That was bad. Well, let's unchoose it and choose another. 2, first, he did vocal exercises to practice his diction and projection so that his words would carry clearly throughout the large auditorium. So he spent in past tense. He did vocal exercises to practice. So far, we're good. We're consistent on the tense and the verb. I think that's okay. First, he does vocal exercises. No, does would be present, and we're in the past, so that's not right. And insert a comma after projection. And projection, comma, so that his words would carry clearly through the auditorium. No, I wouldn't put a comma before the so. Again, as we saw in an earlier question, they're trying to confuse you with this comma fanboys. You don't put the comma before the fanboys, for, in, nor, but, or, yet, so, everywhere. In fact, the only place is before a new independent clause after an independent clause. So I don't use comma so unless I'm putting together 2 basically full sentences or independent clauses. Generally, the rule is you don't do that. That's the exception that we learned the rule for. So there's no need for a comma before this so here. This is not an independent clause being combined, so that his words would carry clearly throughout the large auditorium. That is a relative pronoun starting a dependent clause there. No need for a comma before so. So 2, that last part is wrong. G, sentence number 3. Then he studies the text of the monologue. So first he did vocal exercises, then he studied. So we want to keep that parallel in past tense there. We want consistent tense. He did vocal exercises in sentence 2. He studied in sentence 3. So I would make that change for the first part of G. And what else do I have to do? Delete the comma after emotions. Well, let's read this. Then he studies the text of the monologue to better understand the emotions, comma, and motivations of the character he plans to portray. So like the issue we just went through with so, there's no need for a comma. Here, there's also no need for a comma, but there is a comma. We have to remove that. We're not combining independent clauses. Motivations of the character he plans to portray, not a standalone sentence, not a complete thought or an independent clause. This is just two compound nouns, emotions and motivations. We do not use a comma between them. So G is the correct answer. That's what we need to change, both of those things. Sentence 4, let's just quick check that. Change recited to recites. Finally, he recited. No, we're in the past tense. Why can't I stay in the past tense? And delete the comma after times. He looked in front of the mirror many times, comma, making slight adjustments and improvements to his performance each time. So again, this is our present participle clause. It's a dependent clause, which cannot stand by itself. It's at the end of a sentence. So if it's not essential, it's just extra information, not identifying something before it, we separate it by a comma. And that's in fact the case here. Usually those participle clauses like including, making, are separated by commas at the end of sentences. So, okay, we wrapped up number 4. G is the correct answer. And that is the end of our revising editing part A section for this exam.